everyone. I thought today we would do something different, and instead of reading a story, you can watch me and then you can re-watch the video later and you can make some Play-Doh with me. I know you'll be missing Kinder, so I thought you might like to make some Play-Doh at home, and then you can maybe send us some pictures of what you've made. So I've got our recipe here to follow. It says that we need 2 cups of flour. So we've got 2 cups of plain flour. You can also use self-raising flour if that's what you have at home. We have done that before at Kinder. But I have flour in my house, so we've got 2 cups we will need of flour. We need 1 cup of salt. We need some cream of tartar. Can you say cream of tartar? Yeah, cream of tartar. We need some olive oil or vegetable oil, any oil that you have. I have vegetable oil. And boiling hot water. So I just boiled my kettle. So it's all really hot. So you might have to get your mum, your dad, your grandma or your grandpa, whoever you're living with at the moment, to boil you some hot water. Or you can also make it hot in the microwave too. So what we're going to do first, I've already washed my hands. So I've washed my hands before I started cooking. I'm going to pull my sleeves up. So I'm going to pull my sleeves up. I've also got 2 bowls. I've got one that the hot water and the oil is going to be mixed in later. But I've also got 1 clear bowl so that you can all watch me and you can see as I pour in. Okay, I've got my measuring cup. So I've got 1 cup. This is 1 full cup. I've also got some smaller ones. I've got a half cup. Can you see how it's smaller than the full cup? The 2 halves of these would make 1 whole cup. I've got a 1/4 cup. I can put them all down and you can have a look. I've got 1 half is here. We've got a whole. We've got 1/3 of a cup and 1/4 of a cup. Which one looks bigger? I think 1/3 of a cup is bigger. I'm going to put them all down. Move the water out of the way and you can have a look at which one is bigger. I think this one, the 1 cup. Then you've got half a cup, 1/3 of a cup, and you've got a 1/4 of a cup. But we don't need these ones today. So I'm going to put these ones back in my drawer. We only need 1 whole cup and a tablespoon. So first, we are going to put 2 cups of flour into the bowl. I'm going to open up my flour. So I'm going to put 1 cup first. I'm going to pour it in, so you can use 1 hand to hold it, and maybe somebody else can hold the flour, or you can take turns. So I'm going to pour a whole cup. So I'm going to hold it until the cup is full. I'm not going to do too much at a time. See how there's a lot coming out. So that's 1 cup. So I'm going to pour that in. 1. I'm going to shake it inside the bowl so we don't make a mess everywhere. 1 cup and 1 more. So 1 plus 1 more cup. 1 plus 1 would mean 2 cups of flour. So 1 and 2 cups. I'm going to pour that in once it's full to the top. I'm going to tap again. That makes 2 cups of flour in here. I'm going to keep the flour next to me because we're going to use it a little bit later again. I'm going to keep that one there. All right, now the recipe that we're following says we need 1 cup of salt. My salt isn't open yet, so I'm going to get some scissors. I'm going to open the corner. You can ask somebody around you to help you open it. Or if you have scissors at home, you can cut the top like we do at Kinder when we have to open our chip packets or our popcorn or different things. So we've got 1 cup. I'm going to slowly pour it in. We only need 1 cup of salt, so I'm going to just put 1 cup. If you have a brother or a sister, maybe you could ask them to have a turn if they want to have a turn. Just like at Kinder, we all take turns when we're cooking. So I'm going to pour 1 cup of salt in with the flour. And then, I forgot to tell you, you need a wooden or a mixing spoon. So I'm going to mix slowly. Remember how we talked about one hand holds the bowl and the other one is going to mix. Just going to move it down so that everybody else can see. That's a bit better, I think. So I'm going to just hold it with this hand and I'm going to slowly mix. So we have 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt in here. We're mixing it through, and then we're going to put 4 tablespoons of cream of tartar. You can find this at Coles or Woolworths. This one is new, so I'm going to open it up. And some of you might have seen a different one that we use at kindergarten. So we've got cream of tartar. So can you help me count 4 tablespoons? So I'm not going to just fill just a little bit. I'm going to fill the whole tablespoon. Tap a little bit so it's all even. So 1 plus another 1 would make 2, 3, and 4. 4 tablespoons of cream of tartar. This will help the Play-Doh become into a more firmer dough. So it will help it rise a little bit without having to cook it. So I'm mixing the cream of tartar in with the salt and the flour. And then in this bowl, I'm going to put 2 cups of my boiling hot water. Are you going to pour the boiling hot water? No. I would get your mum, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, or if you have a big brother or a big sister, you could ask them. So I've got my boiling water from the kettle. I'm going to put 2 cups of boiling water in a separate bowl, not straight away with the flour, salt and cream of tartar. We're going to put, you can see it rising there, 1 cup of water and 2. You know, at kindergarten, one of the teachers usually do the hot water because we don't want the water to come onto our skin and burn us. 1 plus 1 more makes 2 cups of hot water. Can you see the steam coming out? Oh, I can see the steam coming. 2 cups of boiling water, we did that. And now we need to mix oil. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons for now, but we will add more later to make sure that the Play-Doh is not too dry. So we're going to put 1 tablespoon in and 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to show you, as I know a lot of children like to see when the water gets poured, the oil gets poured into the water and we see lots of bubbles. Can you see all the bubbles of the oil pop up into the boiling water? I can see all of that oil. So I'm going to give that a little stir. I'm going to be very careful because the water is very hot. I'm going to stir that. I'm going to move the kettle out of the way. And now, what we are going to do, we're going to slowly pour the water in to the flour, salt and cream of tartar. The water and oil, sorry. But I'm going to make myself some space so there's not too much stuff around me. Remember that you might still need the flour and the oil later. So I'm going to get it ready here. I've got lots of space. I'll fix it for everybody so you can all see. Okay, we're ready? So I'm going to just make sure, oops, made a little bit of a mess. Lucky I can clean it up later. So I'm going to pour a little bit of water in. You can watch through the bowl, as you can see. I probably poured about half of the water. Then I'm going to start mixing. You can see how slowly a dough is coming. You see? Now I don't have any colours to put, so my Play-Doh is just going to be a white colour. If you have food colouring at home, you can add it in at the end. Or if you even have paint at home, at kindergarten we put paint in our Play-Doh instead of food colouring because it doesn't dry it out as much and it stays nice and soft, and you can just pour paint in if you have it at home. So I'm going to get my tablespoon that I used before. I'm going to scrape all of the dough that gets stuck on the spoon so we don't waste any of that. I'm going to put that back down. And you can see it's starting to make a dough. So once this has all been mixed in, I'm going to add the little bit of water left. I'm not sure if you can see. Just a little bit left. So I'm going to pour that in. If you think it's too much, you just leave a little bit in the bowl. We don't have to use all the water. See how you go. Then we're going to mix that in. You can have a smell. It smells like warm dough. But we don't eat Play-Doh, do we? We don't eat the Play-Doh because it's full of salt. It's a bit yucky. You can make different dough for bread and things at home. So just moving the bowl here so I can keep stirring. I'll hold it here so you can all see. I'm just mixing in. If you feel that it's a little bit too watery, then that's why we kept the flour. So I'm going to add a little bit of flour in, just a little bit, pour it in. Doesn't matter how much you pour in because you can always add more oil, more water or more flour later. So what I'm going to do is that I have wiped this bench top down and it's all clean. So I'm going to pour the Play-Doh mix onto my bench top. And this is why my sleeves have been pulled up. So once again, I'm going to scrape all of the dough off the spoon. And I'm going to add some more flour on top. And I'm also going to dust some at the table. Just so we have lots. So I'm going to knead the Play-Doh. So that's why I pulled my sleeves up. And I'm kneading the dough. You can see how it's turning into Play-Doh. If you or your mum or your dad, brother or sister think that the Play-Doh is too soft or too sticky, you can add more flour or you can add more oil, but you don't want to have too much oil because that's when it starts to get really sticky and it sticks to your hands and then it sticks to all of your rollers and everything you use. So I find if you knead it onto the table for a good 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, with flour, make sure that you have flour on the table here so that when you're kneading it, it's going into the flour. And as you can see, my Play-Doh is done. It's nice and warm. It's not too hot. It's soft. It's not too sticky. It is perfect. Just like that. If it is too sticky, try and add a bit more flour at a time or a tiny bit more water. If you feel that it's really dry, you can add some more oil. So then maybe you can break some off and you can share some, maybe with your brother or sister or mum or dad, grandma, grandpa. You can roll it. You can roll it on the table. You can use some of your mum's rollers maybe. I've got a rolling pin, so you can roll it out if you want to. You can find some different, you might have cookie cutters at home. You might have lots of different things you can find. You can go on a little nature walk and you can find some leaves or rocks or sticks and different things. You can make some monsters or anything you like. If you have a go at making the Play-Doh at home, you can send myself and your teachers some photos and we can share all together what we made. I hope you enjoyed this activity and have fun making your own Play-Doh at home. Goodbye everybody, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.